Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel on artificial intelligence and programming. And today we're gonna dive deep into how I did automate Tinder using artificial intelligence, and more specifically we're gonna look at how you can collect your own Tinder data to build your machine learning classifier later on. So without further ado, let's get coding straight away. Alright guys, so in this video we're going to be looking at how you can use the Tinder package in order to collect your data that you need in order to train your model later on. And I actually prepared some code for this, so you don't have to look at all the nitty-gritties. So we're going to be looking at that straight away. So I'm just going to close this down so it doesn't look as frightening to start with. So basically the program we're going to work with is this main.py program. And I haven't fixed that much yet. It's just gonna do the whole iteration of getting the users, and then we have to show the image to look at it, and we're gonna do some kind of like or dislike on that actual image. And okay, so what I did was that I prepared some functions for us. I did a helpers function and a IO helpers function. And we're just going to look into what those do. So basically, in order to access the Tinder API, we need to use our Facebook tokens and our Facebook credentials to do that. And it's a bit nitty-gritty because in order to get that data, we will have to log in with our Facebook credentials and then get the Facebook token from there. So what we'll need is our Facebook ID. Later on for Pinda, we will need our email and our password to Facebook in order to get the Facebook token here as seen on line 7. And we're going to look into that function straight away. So first one here, just getting login credentials. It's a function that you see down here in line 26. And basically what that does, it just opens up the file that I prepared of the JSON. And it gets our email, password, and Facebook ID. So I'm not gonna show you my email and password credentials for Facebook just yet. So I'm gonna show you this example file. And basically it's just a file in a JSON format that has your email and your password and your Facebook ID. And I really can't remember how to go hold of my Facebook ID, but if you just Google how to get your Facebook ID 2017, I reckon you'll find it straight away. So the actual file that you can see here called auth.json, it is supposed to look exactly like this file, but have your actual Facebook email and password credentials and the Facebook ID that you found when you were Googling. And that's just to get our credentials, because they will be used later on here on line 7 where we're getting our Facebook token. And in order to do this, we're using something called RoboBrowser that simulates that we are an actual browser. So it uses a user agent here. As we can see, we are simulating that we are a Mozilla Firefox using Apple WebKit, so on. And this is the Facebook auth key that I found. I really don't remember exactly how I got this link. You might want to look into that because I stole this from my other repository. But this is official stuff for the Tinder package. So if you go into that and see exactly how you can use the Tinder package, it will show you how you get your Facebook auth and stuff going. So it might be the case that your Facebook auth is a bit different than mine. I really can't remember that. But in the repository that I will post after this video is recorded, I will put all this information. So what you can do is just try that out straight away, and if it doesn't work for you, just go into the Tinder package documentation and look there for the details. So basically what it does is it opens this RoboBrowser and it opens this Facebook auth. So I reckon this is just the redirect auth URL for Tinder. It gets the form, it enters our credentials, a password, email, submits the form, and it uses regex here to extract the access token that it returns to us. So as we can see here now, it gives us our Facebook token that we use on the using the Tinder package here to create a Tinder session for us. And what we want to do here, I'm just gonna iterate this while through, so we keep on getting the users and we keep on getting the images until we just cancel the whole thing. I reckon it's just the easier thing to do. And so for user in uses, we are going to iterate over all of our uses. So basically, when calling this session nearby uses, we get all the nearby uses in our area, and we want to iterate over these, and we're gonna look at the photos. So what I'm gonna do here, in order to not have images of innocent people around here on my YouTube channel, I'm not actually gonna look at the images here on YouTube, but I'll write the command that you can use to save these images. So basically, I'll just make a random here. Or maybe I'll just make it pop and I'll put a black image over it so you don't see the actual image itself. Yes, let's do that instead so you can see the real code. So there will be an image here of a guy or a girl depending on your Tinder settings, but you're not gonna see mine here because I would really want to make people's privacy still private. I don't want to offend people's privacy. So I'm just gonna do it really basic here. What you probably want to do is to do some kind of GUI programming. So this is a bit nitty gritty, is showing the image and then saying yes, no, yes, no. But you probably want to do some GUI, and you can use your keyboard for that, like your up, down, left, right keys. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to show the image using matplotlib, and then we're going to look at our input string and see did we like the image, yes or no, and save it from there. So let's get going straight away. So for each user here, what we can do is we can get their photos. So we can use photos equals user gets photos. And when we have all the photos, we might print that out. Fetched user photos. And for each of the photos, we want to iterate over these. And now we want to look at the photo somehow. So we're going to use the image equals imread photo. And this fetches the photo for us, because if we print the photo, I'm quite sure that this is an URL. So let's try that out just to see if it's an URL or not. Python main. So as we can see here, it's logging in, it's getting the users, and imread is not defined. No, it wouldn't be because we haven't. So that is a package from skimage.io import. Let's import all of our packages straight away from skimage. And this is skimage's scikit image. Yes, as you can see, what we're getting here is URL, so we gotta fetch them somehow, and that's what we do using the imread here on line 19. So we're just fetching those images to us, so we have them locally, and they would probably be saved as a NumPy array, and from there we can work with the photos, because just having URLs doesn't help us very much. So when we have the image there, we can try to look at the image. So once again, I'm gonna put a black screen over the image, but we can look at it. And so we just show image, let me show. And what we want to do then is we want to save the image. So depending if I was attracted to a person or not, we probably want to save them in a like folder or a dislike folder. Just to separate these for the training, because we're doing supervised training later on. So we will need these in order to do our supervised training, because they have to be labeled. And the easiest way here is just to put them in different folders in order to label them. So let's just do input string. Could be right one to dislike, to like, right two to dislike. Okay, answer. Let's use just standard input. Let's lower key that as well. And if ans equals 1, well then we wanna save that image somehow. And as you can see on line 5 here, I've done a IO helpers import save image. So I just don't want to have all the like helper functions for saving images and stuff here. So we're gonna declare that function later on, you and I together. But for now, let's just assume that we have that function written, and we'll fix it later on. So yes, okay, cool. Let's do our saving here of the image. We do save image, true. Oh, maybe we want to use the... Okay, so here's another problem we could have here as well. So all of our images have unique URLs, right? And we have to save these images with unique names in our folders as well, because otherwise we might just overwrite our images, and that would probably not be what we want to happen here. So somehow let's have some kind of unique identifier. So we could assume that Tinder is giving unique identifiers for the JPEG URL files, right? So they're giving us the URLs that we saw earlier. So when we iterating over photos here, we getting the photo URL. So we could assume here that that's a unique URL. So let's just take the numbers, the unique numbers in the end there, and use that unique number for our image file name later on as well. So that would be true. And I'm just making an assumption here. So if you're not saying one, then you disliked it. Save image photo false. So what I mean here with photo is, yes, the unique URL that we could see that we got up here. So if we go down here, we can see this is a unique URL. So what I'm talking about here is the value here in the end. We can use this as the unique identifier for our image file name as well when we save them down, to not have the chance of actually just overwriting our existing data. That would be a shame. So let's go and fix this IO helper function. So I declared the function here, but it's not fixed just yet. And we would have the image name and if it was liked or disliked. So let's do some kind of, so we would probably use skimage here as well for the imsave. So what we would do here is we give it the actual path and the actual file path that we wanted to save it. So in the very end, we would do something like file name image. That's the end goal with this function. So what I did was that I created a folder called data, and if we go into that folder, we have the dislike and likes folders. So we can have the base folder equals data, and here we can have so file name equals base folder if liked file name plus equals, what do we call them, likes and otherwise else file name plus equals dislikes. Yeah, there we go. And unique ID here. Okay, well, let's do it. The file name, file URL array or list. So when we look, let's do some kind of analysis here so I'm not going too fast for you. So what we want to do here is that we got these unique URLs, right, for each and every image. And we want to use this very last identifier as the file name. This is what we want to save our images as in our likes or dislikes folder. So the easiest thing we can do here is just to split on dashes. Do you call them dashes? I'm not quite sure. Now, well, let's call them dashes. They're probably not. Yeah, you see here. I don't know what they're called in English actually, but we want to split on these. And when we do that, then we can just fetch the the last position in our list here to get our unique file name, and then we can save them as that. So if we do our split like this, well, then we can just use the last element here. So file name plus equals file name plus equals file URL list len file URL list -1. Okay, or we can just do, I reckon you can do this in Python, -1, and then we just save that one. So I'm just gonna print this out for you so you can see how it looks straight away. And if this works, then we should be quite set already. I just saw typo here. We probably wanna, no, we're quite fine. Okay, let's try this out. Let's see how it runs. It's also quite a bit challenge just live coding straight away. So I got an image here. Lovely. Let's close that down. And so now what can you do here? Write 1 to like, write 2 to dislike. Obviously I like that one, so let's do 1. What happened here is that it saved the image in data, likes, and then a unique identifier, which I wanted it to. So that's absolutely perfect. Let's close this program down. So this is quite a problem. So it can be a bit tricky when using the im show actually, because it doesn't let you just close the program. But just press that down and wait for the user input, and you can cancel your program then. But if we look here now in data, likes, we can see that we have our image here with a unique identifier in JPEG format, and I can open this one up and I'll get the image here. And then we can use this data later on for the training. So I mean, fetching your data for Tinder doesn't have to be that hard. So in this very program right here, we're logging into Tinder using the Tinder package, and we are getting our Facebook credentials and the Facebook token using Robo Browser and the on the Tinder API to get the actual Facebook ID and token. And then we just iterate over all the users, and for every user we iterate over all of their images. So what we're doing here is that we're assuming that we don't like all of their images, right? We're not quite sure if we like all their images, and we probably don't want to have like shitty photos of cars and stuff if they have images like that. We could do another thing here is only look at one photo of each user, and if we like that one, then we save all of the images, and then later on when we do the face extraction of all the images, we just iterate over all of these, and if they have shitty pictures like cars and stuff, well, then we don't use them in our final training data. But I reckon it's better, it's a bit more time consuming, but just go over every person's images like right here and actually do some kind of evaluation on every image individually. So you kind of look at all of your images and be like, yes, I like this one, I didn't like that one. Yes, I like this one, I didn't like that one. Because the case could be that you like some images that a person has and you maybe don't like others. So I think this is a better way. And as I said, you probably want to write a GUI for this because this isn't very convenient, but it works just fine. I'm just going to showcase for you that it works for the dislikes as well, just for the sake of it. So you're gonna dislike here just for the lols. So we're session started, we're fetching user photos. Okay, we got an image there. I'm just gonna dislike that one. We got another one popping here. Let's close that program down. And now going to data. See dislikes, and we got another image there as well. So it works just fine. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pop all these code up except for my actual auth.json. So you have to create your own auth.json. You just rename auth.example.json and add your credentials there, so you can't log into my Facebook and do shitty stuff or swipe for me. But this repository will now go online, and my goal here is to do an actual implementation of the data gathering, of the face extraction, of everything that you need to do in order to automate Tinder by yourself. And in the very end, we will have a functional deep learning model for convolutional neural network for doing this. So if you're not too familiar with coding in Python, this could be a bit scary, especially with me just working in Vim, which could look a bit messy if you're not used to it. And but just look at this video once again and try to see what's happening here. I mean, a lot of the stuff in maybe the helper functions, you don't get them straight away. I mean, I coded them a couple of months ago and it took me quite a while. So just go into the repository and look at the code there and be like, oh, well, this makes sense for me. If you didn't quite follow during this video, this was just a demonstration of what you could do, basically. But if you like this video and if you want to stay tuned to the following episodes where I will go into more details on how we can do this implementation, just stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on all the updates. And well, if you like this kind of video where I do live programming, I know it could be a bit tricky for me with, you know, typos and having to remember everything in your head and you don't want to do shit wrong. But if you enjoy to watch this in this kind of way, please let me know. And if you don't like to watch it in this kind of way and you actually want me to write the code and then come here and display or explain the code for you, please let me know as well, because this is a new format for me. Definitely a new format to do live coding like this. So I would really be encouraged to hear your feedback on this. But as I said, remember to subscribe so you don't miss out. And as always, guys, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. And don't forget to enjoy yourself, because that's what life is all about. So stay blessed, and I'll talk to you soon again.